Teddy Greenstein's with us from the Chicago Tribune. All right, golf's been going. Major League Baseball's about a week out. What kind of buzz is around Chicago about MLB getting started?
Yeah, I mean, momentum is really building. Now, you guys probably heard, with the White Sox and Michael Kopech. That was a really interesting decision. The dude who throws over 100 miles an hour, who's married to Vanessa Morgan, that actress who I've spoken to a bunch. He's got some anxiety and some issues to work out over there. So I think if people were going to predict a guy who was going to, bail this year, COVID related, it was probably going to be him. An amazing talent, but when he finally pitches next year, it'll be 2.5 years off. But no, I mean, obviously, I'm almost in the shadow of Wrigley Field here, and people are just, I think, incredibly curious and excited. Bummed they won't be able to see it for themselves, but excited that we'll be hearing the crack of the bat. I mean, I'm close enough that I can hear the roar of the crowd. I don't know if I'll be able to hear the crack of the bat. I think people are curious about walk-up music and all that kind of stuff and what it'll hear and sound like. I've been watching some soccer where they pipe in the noise. I can't decide yet if I like that or not. What's your take on that?
It hasn't bothered me at all in golf. I have not watched much soccer. I'll be honest with you there. And I did talk. We did have Lane Grindle from the Milwaukee Brewers on last night, and he said they've been experimenting at Miller Park with pumping in crowd noise. He said he was not a fan, and then he observed it, and he goes, you know what? It actually kind of helped a little bit to add a little ambiance, even though it's empty in the ballpark when these guys are doing it. So I think we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know watching on TV that it'll bother me.
Yeah, I think we shouldn't be hating on it. I mean, again, I was watching soccer, and I don't think it was noise in the stadium. I think it was just the broadcast. But, these sports like soccer and baseball, and really all of them, you're just so used to the reactions. I mean, with soccer, when a guy misses the goal, for the crowd to go, for those kind of groans. So I guess we've also gotten used to the silence of golf. I mean, the lack of roars and the lack of golf claps. So we're just all desperate for some good news, because obviously with college football, man, we've talked about it week after week after week. We ain't getting good news on that front.
No, it's been a rough couple of weeks for that. I think the percentages are certainly going down for that. I want to ask you about the Blackhawks as it relates to the Redskins. Obviously, the Redskins are now changing their name. That came out Monday. The Blackhawks would obviously be somebody that would be in that same realm. What discussions about that have been bouncing around Chicago?
Yeah, Greg, good question. It's so tough now to know which teams are acceptable, which ones aren't. I thought somebody had a great line. They said, the team, the Cleveland Indians, is offensive. And somebody said, I totally agree. They should remove Cleveland from the name. So, with the Redskins, I think that was the clear-cut one because it's viewed as a slur. And also Dan Snyder has just been such a jerk about it. He's been so stubborn and so close-minded and so unaffected by the criticism compared to Blackhawks management, which has basically said, look, we know this name offends some people, so let's work with Native American groups, educate us, tell us what you think, tell us, what are the things we can do to make it more palatable. Like, it used to be at a lot of Blackhawks games, you would have fans come in like a full headdress, and now that almost never happens. And the team is certainly more sensitive to in-game entertainment. So I think that team name is going to stay. Essentially, there's a divide among Native Americans in Chicago. Some say it's fine, some say it isn't, but it doesn't seem to really rankle many people. Obviously, they could just change it to the Hawks and change that logo to a bird, but oh my God, that Blackhawks logo is amazing. It would be a little sad if it went away.
I'm out of my element here. Are they part of the redo, or did they make the playoffs?
Yeah, it's funny how the NHL kind of rigged it so a lot of the biggest market teams would be in there, like New York and Chicago. So the Blackhawks will be teeing it up against Edmonton, and I think it's considered almost a 50-50 series. They wouldn't have made the playoffs without the restart.
Yeah, very good. All right, last question, college football. Do you think we'll see a revised schedule from the Big Ten, or are they just going to sit on things for a few weeks? What's your gut say?
Yeah, Greg, I mean, during the furlough, I haven't been able to write anything, but I saw it coming in terms of the conference only. And here's what I think is going to happen. I mean, the coaches really don't want the season to be, quote unquote, canceled per se, because they want their kids to be practicing and training. They don't want to say, hey, it's canceled, so now you can go out to the bars and be reckless and do whatever you want to do. So I think they're going to basically say it's a holding pattern. You know, when the announcement came about conference only, some people were like, okay, so they'll play conference games. I said, no. They've just eliminated the non-conference games. That's what's happening. They're not guaranteeing anything. And the more I thought about it in terms of guys like Kevin Warren, who really put, you know, student athlete health and safety first, I got obviously really pessimistic. So I think what they're going to do is wait for a miracle. And, you know, think about options. But right now, as we know, the options don't look great. And I'm certainly not one who's thinking a spring season makes any sense.
Yeah. All right. Good to chat. Good to catch up. I'm glad you shaved some strokes off your game. Improved that short game. And we'll chat with you next Thursday.
Thanks, Greg. Be well. Talk to you.